you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Shana. I truly appreciate it.
Right now, just with your bank and the lender that you work for,
Mhm.
what is the minimum credit score that you guys are working with in general outside of down payment assistance?
550 is the lowest that we can go for FHA, depending upon those ratios again. As long as they don't have a lot of debt, then we can go as low as a 550.
Is there anything on a person's credit that's going to automatically say no? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because 550, normally if you have a 550 credit score, there's something there that's keeping you at a 550 credit score. So what should they be looking out for if they're interested in purchasing a home and, calling you up to get approved? Or something that they can work on if it's at 550, because I know that with the 550 they may get a higher interest rate.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And you don't qualify for down payment assistance. So that's one thing I try to tell people: you can't have low credit and no money. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? If
They're
you're gonna
like,
have
pick
low
a
credit,
struggle.
you can have and you have money, you'll be able to, because you might. Now, do they have to bring more down, or what is the status with that, with the 550?
Normally, yes. It's normally at least, it just depends, honestly. It's case by case scenario. I've seen it where they can put, the 3.5% down FHA, but a lot of times it may be, 5% or 10%. So it just depends on, each person's scenario. But what I would always recommend when your credit score is low is that anything within the past 12 months that's reporting derogatory,
Mm-hmm.
that is what's hindering your credit score.
Okay.
A lot of times, people don't know that charged off accounts, those don't count against you with FHA loans, as well as, medical bills, they don't count against you.
Mm-hmm.
But if those things are actively reporting derogatory, it's going to keep bringing your credit score down. So even if you're like, hey, I pay all my bills on time, I'm not understanding why I'm not getting a boost on my credit score. A lot of times it's because those derogatory things are still actively reporting every month. So
That's good to know. So, and this is why I encourage every person that's interested in purchasing a home to not try to fix your credit yourself, right? But to
right.
let your lender look at it and tell you what you need to do to get qualified, because oftentimes people are self-diagnosing. And
Right.
like she just said, some things are not looked at. Some things may not even count. And you're sitting here trying to
Correct.
worry about a charge off that's 7 years
Yes.
old just to get
Right.
credit. And it's like, no, you can use this money for your down payment.
Absolutely.
I've had
Absolutely.
clients, like, I paid an attorney bill off that was $20,000. It wasn't even on her credit. She just felt like she needed
Oh
to pay it. And I'm like, no,
no.
now you need down payment assistance. Medical bills, and like Miss Alicia was saying, like, everybody's situation is different. So I just want to encourage you to reach out to her, let her look over your situation. If you have a 550 credit score, there is hope. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
If
absolutely.
all
Yeah.
other things are aligned, right? Like, say you're
Mm-hmm,
just doing
mm-hmm.
everything you can, you're paying your bills on time, you're doing what you can do, but maybe your credit score is just not growing. It's okay. Like, you can still purchase. You may have to put more down based upon because you have to think about it. The bank is seeing you're a risk. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The lower the credit score, the more riskier they see you as. And it's
Absolutely.
Miss Alicia's job to protect her bank's assets. So we want to make sure we're giving loans to the right people and at the right time. And she will help
Absolutely.
you get your loan at the right time, right? It's
I
never
agree.
a no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in giving anybody a no as an answer. I just always believe in yes, or what do we need to do to get to our yes. So that is
Absolutely.
always my goal with all of my clients. We'll get to where you need to be. So I think that's it. Do you have anything else you want to add for the people?
No, just keep your credit scores up, pay your bills on time, make sure that you're, debt to income. When it comes to credit cards as well, I see a lot of people go over their utilization amounts, or they're close to the utilization amounts. Those actually hinder your credit score as well. So you want to keep your debts paid low. Don't pay them all off to zero, because underwriters want to see that you can actively use your credit in the correct way.
That's something
So
I recently learned. I mean, I know they changed that like a couple of years ago. I used to think that my credit should be so high because I had credit cards, but they were all zero. And then I
right.
learned like, no, you have to actively use them and show a balance so that you're building your rapport. Like you're building, because if they're reporting zero and then the next month zero, they're never reporting a balance. So it's looking as though you're not using your credit.
Correct. Yep.
Wondering why isn't my credit score growing? I have 3 credit cards and they're all on zero balance.
Right. I'm like, I'm paying my stuff.
Showing that you're good with credit. You're just showing that you're not using it and not needing it, but we want to
Absolutely.
see your usage. So if you
Mhm.
have, credit cards, make sure you're using them. And like she was saying, make sure your utilization is low. And depending on your debt, I know we hear 30%, but based upon your debt, you might need to be lower than 30%.
Correct. Absolutely.
You just need to have a little $25 balance on there or something, not.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Another one more tip I want to give everyone before we get off is that you can always do an authorized user as well. Like, so if you know someone that has good credit, they've paid their credit card bill on time and they have low utilization, you can get on as an authorized user on their card and essentially get their credit score. So
question with that, how long does that take to actually show up?
It normally takes about, a cycle. So about 30 days, I would say.
Okay. So after 30 days, it'll show up on, like, say I wanted to add my spouse or my, best friend or whatever onto my credit. Right. It would show up for them in 30 days. Do they actually need to be using the card or?
No, I mean, they're just going to get whatever, whatever your pay history is or whatever your utilization is. It's just kind of transferring over to them.
So the entire thing.
Correct.
Or not just from when I made them an authorized user.
Absolutely. Yep. So
if it's
good or bad, that could be a bad thing too. So,
and they're irresponsible. So
right.
If you are going to become an authorized user for somebody, make sure you're responsible and not mess up their credit,
Right.
Vice versa. If you're asking to be someone's authorized user on someone else's information, make sure that you're faithful and not get a card. But yeah.
Right.
It's just benefiting and adding value to you for the home ownership process.
Absolutely.
Now, after, let's say someone is an authorized user and they get their house or whatever, can they just be removed or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once you get the keys to your home, it's up to you what you do on the back end.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Well, thank you so much. I will have your contact information below in the link to find you and your email address. But thank you so much for joining me today.
I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to closing more deals with you as well.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.